I received a comment on one of my videos a few days ago asking me why Solas appeals to me as a character. I honestly had never truly thought about it before, so I figured, why not talk about it? Before we start, I just wanted to thank Chad Rains for their kind question. Sadly, there is a part of the Dragon Age community that completely hates anything to do with Solas, and they are not respectful about it. This goes for any video game franchise who has a morally great character, of course. There are always so many differing sides and opinions, but I love answering questions, and I appreciated this commenter's approach. As per usual, massive Dragon Age spoilers in general ahead, including Veilguard spoilers. So, this is why you should romance Solas before Dragon Age the Veilguard. Solas's romance is the most unique romance in the whole franchise. Because of how important he is to the story, it in turn makes you also feel incredibly important. Sure, you are already important in Inquisition. You lead a group of people and save the world. Heck, you might even become a religious symbol. How much more important could you get? I'd like to argue a whole lot more. Solas's romance ties directly into the main story of Dragon Age Inquisition, and because of his importance to the story, and upcoming one, you also feel the same importance to the story based on his love for you, and by you, I mean a romanced Lavellan. His romance, generally speaking, has less content than the other romances. It has fewer romance-related scenes and dialogue, but despite this, his romance really did not make me notice the lack of it. The first romance scene you get, most commonly referred to as the Fade scene, or the Fade Kiss, is one of the most memorable romance scenes I have ever experienced, and I have played a lot of RPG romances. Solas's charm sweeps you up immediately. The conversation leading up to the first kiss has so much tension. Ugh, it's so good. I won't go into too much detail if you haven't played it for yourself yet, but this whole scene is just such a wonderful intro to the romance in general. And it gives you a lot more of Solas's character that you do not get if you are not a Lavellan romancing him. You see how desperate he is to be close to someone. How long has it been since he experienced any sort of intimacy? Afterwards, he even apologizes, saying that he should not have encouraged it, even though we are the ones who initiate it. I love him. But that's not the point of this. This whole scene shows a side of Solas that we don't see if we do not romance him. Something I think that is important to Solas's character that you do not get by just befriending him is the fact that Solas can love and wants to love. And on top of that, you also see how he chooses to leave what he so desperately loves and wants for what he believes is the greater good. It is so tragically compelling. One of the things I love the most about Solas's romance is how vivid it is that he loves and cares about you. He feels so strongly for Lavellan, but restrains himself due to his hidden goals. Yet despite this, his love for Lavellan is so powerful and real. Like the balcony scene, where Solas tells you he loves you for the first time. He tries to walk away at first, but is stopped by Lavellan. He considers the implications of turning back to her, and against what is probably his better judgment, he allows himself to be drawn back in and confesses his love for her. The scene is so touching and passionate. I love everything about it. If Solas still isn't appealing to you in this aspect, there is also the fact that you get to learn so much more about the ancient elves through romancing him, which if you really aren't feeling the Solas romance for the other reasons I mentioned, is yet another reason you should still try his romance out. In the infamous scene in Crestwood, you learn about the true meanings of the Dalish Valisleen. This scene gives you so much insight to Solas' character, and later if you look back on it, to what he is hiding from you. This whole scene is a huge character development point for your Lavellan as well, as you get to decide if you want to keep your Valisleen or not. This part of the romance alone adds so much to Solas' character and to Lavellan herself. If you're watching this video, then you probably already know about the seemingly new main antagonist of Dragon Age the Veilguard, Algernon and Gillinan, who are ancient elven gods. Solas used to walk among them before he trapped them, and so getting to know him on a deeper level that is his romance will give you a much better insight to how the ancient elven used to act, because he is one. At the very least, I would say that this reason alone is enough of a reason to try his romance out. If you love the Dragon Age lore and the elves, this is the romance for you. Sadly, like I mentioned earlier, there is less Solas romance content than other companions. However, if you include the Trespasser DLC, I think it more than makes up for it. In Trespasser, it has been 2 years since your Inquisitor has last seen Solas. It is finally revealed that Solas is Sven Harel, the Dreadwolf from ancient elven legends, and that he is responsible for what happened in Inquisition. Looking back over his romance as someone who has played it a few times, you can really see the foreshadowing in nearly all of his dialogue, especially in the romance dialogue, and the Valisleen removal especially. Here, it is so clear through his dialogue and reactions how much Solas loves Lavellan, and how pained he is over everything. It is a super stark contrast to just being friends, and even more so to a Solas who has low approval of an Inquisitor, down to his micro-expressions. At the end of this beautiful exchange, Solas again chooses to leave Lavellan to prepare to bring down the veil, and you have the choice to either try and redeem Solas or to stop him. For a romance Lavellan, this scene is even more profound if you choose the redeem option. Instead of saying, "You don't need to destroy this world, I will prove it to you," Lavellan says,
Solas, varla ver suladin.
I wish it could, Vanam.
The way Solas responds, the way Lavellan says it. Oh, my poor Lavellan heart. There has been many translations to what Lavellan says, but the one I like the most and makes the most sense according to how Solas responds is, Solas, our love will persevere. Ouch. Yeah. That hurts. I thought I felt strong emotions from all of Solas' other scenes. This is another level, especially going into the Veilguard. It will have been 8 years since Lavellan and Solas have last seen each other now, and Solas' plans have failed yet again, now releasing Algernon and Gillenon on Thetis. I cannot wait to see how this all unfolds, and I'm so excited to see how our romance Lavellan will change the outcome of Solas' story. Many of us want a happy ending, though it is incredibly hard to see how this can end happily. But at the very least, I want to see Solas redeemed, and hopefully reunited with his romance Lavellan. Well, that's my rant. This video was really hard to make because I couldn't think of any reasons to romance Solas besides you just should. Hopefully I've convinced you to give it a go. And if not, I hope you enjoyed regardless. And while you're here, you should join my Discord. You can talk with me and others about the game. And you should follow my Twitter to stay up to date. Both are linked in the description below. Like always, thanks for watching, and may the Dreadwolf take you.